Hello, everybody. Welcome again to Gen Cyber Institute at Kilgore College. I'm Danny Darden, your lead instructor. Today we're going to talk about cryptography and specifically encryption, which is a subset of cryptography. Encryption is how we keep information secure, and we're going to get to play with it directly with an app that will allow you to actually use cryptography without forcing you to learn about the nuts and bolts of it. It's going to be called Keybase, and it's described as social media for cryptography or social media for encryption. And so you'll be able to use this app on your favorite device, and you'll be able to see other people that you know that actually have this app as well. And so you'll be able to share some encrypted messages back and forth. I use this application because I needed to find a way for cryptography and encryption to become alive to my students and not be just a boring, another boring task behind a computer command line. Normally what happens is this process of keeping information secure happens behind the scenes. It happens in your web browser. It happens on your hard drive or hard disk inside your computer, and you never see it. It is completely transparent to you, and that is usually the good way for it to be. But in order to experience it and to know for sure that my data really is encrypted, we need to look at it, and we need to see it for our own eyes. And so this app will teach you that, and we'll let you see it. But when we take information and we encode it so that it can't be deciphered by somebody, we use a little piece of software or a little piece of data called a key. And the analogy works the same way you would normally work with a regular key. I have a key that you generally don't give out your house key to everybody. You store that and you keep it in your pocket. And it's your private key. And you use a private key to unlock your door, and you can see the message. You can enter your house, right? So nobody else can actually do that because they don't have your key. But if you gave your key to somebody, they'd be able to get into your house. And so it is the exact same way that cryptography works. But what I have to do is I have to be able to lock up the house and send the house over to somebody so they can get in the door, right? So I have to be able to encipher a message or encode a message, and I do that with someone's public key. And so we'll learn more about the key process in the Institute. But for right now, you'll download an app called Keybase, and you will install it on one of your favorite devices, and this may be your first ever open source code project that you've ever installed on anything. And what open source means is it means that the source code, which is the programming code that makes up the application itself, is completely public. Anyone who would like to is welcome to examine that code, to pull it down, put it on their system, and actually look at the way that the computer program is written. And there's many projects that are called open source. And so this is one of them. And the reason why it's open source is because it is a more secure way of doing things. And so you may hear that and go, well, whoa, wait a minute. How is sharing the code with anybody that wants it, even the hackers, more secure? Well, that is precisely why it's there, so that anyone can investigate the code and they can make sure that the code is not doing something that it's not supposed to do. It completely eliminates the ability for a hacker to put some function in the code that does something that nobody knows about. So we keep that able to be investigated. And so that's why open source is more secure. It handles the actual cryptographic keys that we'll do. And in IT, what I teach my students to do is to actually be able to generate those keys and manage them and store them. But we don't want necessarily to take you through that whole process. We want to give you something that's easy to use and fun. And so something you can share with your students. And so the keys that you're going to use are not something that you necessarily need to keep up with. The application Keybase itself keeps up with those keys for you. And so at a minimum, again, install this on your device, any device that you like to use. But what you also want to do, if you want to do more, install it on another device, like another desktop, laptop, or phone. Because what you will discover is once you put it on more than one device, is that second device will act as your authenticator. You won't need a password anymore to use it. As long as you have one device that can access the Keybase infrastructure, you can always authorize another one. And so if you put it on more than one machine, you'll get to experience that as well, and you'll see what it's like working without passwords, which is much better than working with them because you don't have to remember anything. But you do have to have more than one device authorized at a time. Another thing that you have the ability to do on this is generate a paper key, and we'll learn more about paper keys this summer. We'll experiment with paper keys and what those mean, and we'll generate one, and then also this activity, I'd like you to create an encrypted message, post it in the chat, but also send one to me. D. Darden is my name on the Keybase app. Send me a message. We can actually send each other some encrypted messages. And I hope you enjoy learning about cryptography.